They never saw him coming, in a world where silence meant survival and dreams were quietly buried. One boy picked up a blade, not to fight others, but to fight being overlooked. This is the story of Elijah Reed, a teenager from the alley who defied a system built to exclude him, and carved his name into a sport that never expected him to rise. Elijah Reed wasn't the type of kid people remembered. Not at Wilson High, where the social ladder was shaped by touchdowns, cheer tryouts, and family names. At 16, Elijah blended in with the beige of the school's hallways. He didn't speak unless spoken to, didn't argue when ignored. Some kids carry silence like a curse. Elijah wore it like armor. His world shifted the day he discovered fencing. It started as a late-night rabbit hole. One moment, he was scrolling memes on his cracked screen. The next, he was watching Olympic fencers clash in a storm of motion and control. The footwork, the speed, the elegance. It struck something inside him, something wordless but urgent. He watched the same video 10 times, not out of confusion, out of awe. That week, he built his first foil from a bent curtain rod. He practiced in the narrow backyard behind the duplex he shared with his mom. His moves were awkward, but they felt right. He mimicked the stances, the lunges. The cracked pavement beneath his feet became his private arena. Each night, under a busted porch light, he fought ghosts. His body moved. But more importantly, his mind awoke. At school, his new obsession went unnoticed until the day he gave a presentation in history class. The topic was sports and society, while others spoke about football dynasties and basketball legends. Elijah chose fencing. He spoke with quiet passion, explaining how it had evolved from ancient duels into a sport of respect and mental precision. Coach Weller, the gym teacher sitting in the back, chuckled loud enough for the room to pause. "Black kids don't fence," he muttered. "Maybe stick to basketball." Elijah, laughter rippled. Elijah stood frozen, something twisted in his chest. Not quite shame, not quite rage, but something he would remember. That evening, he didn't train. He sat on the back steps, staring at the rod lying in the grass. For the first time since he picked it up, he doubted himself. "You hold it too stiff," a voice said from the shadows. Elijah turned. Mr. Holloway, the old man who lived 3 doors down, stepped into the light. Most knew him as the quiet veteran with the limp and the overgrown garden. What Elijah didn't know, what almost no one knew, was that Holloway had once been a national fencing champion. Before injuries, before politics, before he'd been pushed out and forgotten. "Fencing's not about anger," Holloway said, tapping Elijah's shoulder with a broom handle. "It's about rhythm, timing, listening to your opponent breathe." From that night on, they trained in secret. The alley between their homes became sacred ground. Holloway taught him footwork using chalk-drawn boxes, reaction drills using falling tennis balls, and blade control using coat hangers. It was unconventional, raw, but effective. He didn't just teach Elijah to fight. He taught him to think. Fencing, Holloway told him, isn't about being seen. It's about making sure. When they do see you, it's too late to stop you. Months later, a flyer appeared, an underground youth fencing tournament. No fees, no dress code, no pedigree required. Holloway nodded. Time to test yourself. The gym was half-lit and buzzing. Elijah's mask was borrowed. His gear was patched. But once the match began, none of that mattered. He lost his first bout barely, but learned with every second. By the second match, his opponent's polished form crumbled under Elijah's unpredictable style. He won. Then again. By week's end, he was invited to the Regional Youth Fencing League. It felt surreal. Real uniforms, real judges, real pressure. Elijah had never stood on a platform that polished, and they didn't make it easy for him to stay. From the start, he faced bias, late calls, selective penalties, opponents who looked at him like a fluke. It wasn't just fencing, it was proving, over and over, that he belonged. Then came Preston Langley. Tall, golden, perfect posture, son of Charles Langley, a former Olympic medalist and board member of the league. Preston didn't shake Elijah's hand. He didn't need to. The message was clear. You're here because of a glitch. You won't last. But Elijah did. He beat 3 other competitors in his bracket. Word began to spread. The media loved the underdog angle. A local journalist wrote, "A mystery fencer from the alley, Elijah Reed, is shaking up the elite." But the more attention he got, the more pushback came. In a semifinal match, 2 of Elijah's scoring hits were ruled invalid. Preston's questionable strike accepted instantly. Holloway, watching from the stands, couldn't stay silent. He confronted Charles Langley outside the judge's booth. Witnesses described it as calm but intense. Hours later, Elijah got the call. Holloway had collapsed. Stroke. Critical. Elijah nearly withdrew. But Tina, his childhood friend and now de facto manager, grabbed his hand. "He showed up for you. Don't disappear now." In the final match, the bias was still there, but Elijah had changed. He adjusted faster. He baited Preston with awkward stances, broke rhythm, then struck with surgical precision. Every move spoke for him. Every lunge said, "I'm not supposed to be here, but here I am." In the last round, Elijah landed a clean hit. The room fell silent, waiting for the call. For once, the referee raised the white flag. Point. Match. Champion. Elijah didn't scream. He didn't pump his fists. He simply removed his mask, looked at the crowd, and nodded once. Then he pointed his foil toward the camera. "This is for every kid who got laughed out of their dream before they even started." Holloway survived. He watched the broadcast from the hospital, tears in his eyes. Wilson High added fencing to its athletics program the following year. Elijah's gold medal now hangs in a small glass case at the school entrance. But if you ask him what he's proudest of, he'll point to the photo beside it, 2 black men in a cracked alley, one teaching, one learning. Because for Elijah Reed, the real win wasn't just victory, it was being seen and ensuring the door stayed open for those who would come next.